Hey there, welcome back to Natural Word English. I'm Claire, and I'm really glad you're here today because this lesson is going to change the way you use English in your everyday life. Here's my promise to you. By the end of this video, you will have more than 60 advanced English words and phrases that you can use starting today in real conversations about the things you actually talk about every single day. Your mornings, your work, your feelings, your food, your city, your decisions, your relationships, and your memories. This isn't a list you memorize and forget. This is vocabulary you're going to hear in context, understand instantly, and speak out loud with me right now. So here's what makes this different from just reading a list of words. Most people try to learn vocabulary by memorizing definitions, and then they wonder why they can never actually use the word when they're speaking. That's because a word without a situation is just noise to your brain. But when you hear a word inside a real moment, someone ordering coffee, someone stuck in traffic, someone nervous before a meeting, your brain connects the word to a feeling, a picture, a sound. And that connection is what makes the word stick and what makes it come out of your mouth naturally when you need it without translating in your head first. So in this lesson, every single word you learn is going to arrive inside a real situation with a simple explanation first, then a natural example, then a short conversation between two people, and then a moment where you repeat it out loud with me. That's the method. Simple, but it works. One more thing before we start. All the words today are advanced, C1 to C2 level, but I'm never going to throw a hard word at you without first explaining it in plain, simple English. So even if a word looks intimidating, don't worry. I'll always tell you the simpler word it's replacing, so you understand exactly why it's stronger, more precise, and more natural than the basic word you're probably using right now. All right? Take a breath, get comfortable, and let's begin with the first part of the day. The morning. Imagine this. Your alarm goes off. The room is still dark. You sit up slowly, and for a moment, your brain just isn't working yet. In English, we don't usually say, I feel tired. For this exact moment, there's a more precise word. Groggy. Groggy means you feel weak and unsteady, especially right after waking up or after not sleeping enough. It's more specific than tired, because tired could mean anything, but groggy paints the exact picture of that half-asleep, slow-moving feeling. Here's a natural example. I was so groggy this morning that I put my shoes on the wrong feet. Notice how specific and almost funny that sounds. That's the power of the right word. Let's hear it in a conversation. Picture two coworkers, Mia and Daniel, walking into the office at the same time. Mia. Morning. You look like you're still half asleep, Daniel. Yeah, honestly, I'm still really groggy. I didn't sleep well at all last night. Maya, did you try that tea I told you about? The one that's supposed to help you relax before bed? Daniel, I did, actually, but I still woke up feeling groggy anyway. Maybe I just need an earlier bedtime. Maya, probably. Coffee should help, though. Daniel, God, I hope so. Now it's your turn. Repeat after me. Groggy. One more time. Groggy. Good. Now say the full sentence with me. I was so groggy this morning. Let's keep going with the morning theme. Sometimes, groggy turns into something worse, especially on a Monday or after a really rough week. That word is sluggish. Sluggish means moving slowly and without much energy, like your whole body is running at half speed. You might say, my brain feels sluggish today. I can't focus on anything. It's not exactly the same as groggy. Groggy is right after waking up, but sluggish can last all day, like a heavy, slow feeling that follows you around. Now, for the opposite feeling, that amazing moment when you wake up and actually feel great. The word for that is refreshed. Refreshed means you feel new energy, like your body and mind have been restored. I feel so refreshed after that nap is something you'll hear all the time. And there's an even stronger version of this word. Invigorated. Invigorated means you feel a strong, active burst of energy and life, almost like electricity running through you. You might say, that cold shower left me completely invigorated, or the mountain air made me feel invigorated. Notice the difference. Refreshed is calm and restored. Invigorated is energized and alive. Let's hear these two together in a short exchange between two friends who just went for an early morning run. Sarah, okay, I actually feel amazing right now. Tom, right? I feel so refreshed. My head is completely clear. Sarah, for me, it's more than that. I feel invigorated. Like I could run another 5 miles. Tom, slow down there. Champion, I need coffee before I do anything else. Now say it with me. Refreshed, invigorated. One more time, a little faster. Refreshed, invigorated. Let's add one more word to this cluster. Lethargic. This is a stronger, almost medical-sounding word for feeling extremely low on energy. Often for no clear reason, you just don't want to move. I've been feeling really lethargic lately. I think I need more sleep. It's often used when the tired feeling lasts for days, not just one morning. All right, quick check-in. You're doing great. You already have 5 powerful words just from talking about how you feel in the morning. Groggy, sluggish, refreshed, invigorated, and lethargic. That's real progress. And we've barely started. Now, before we move to the next topic, let's slow down for a second and work on something just as important as vocabulary. How these words actually sound when native speakers say them quickly in real conversation. This is something most vocabulary videos skip completely. And it's a huge mistake because you can know 1,000 words, but if you can't hear them in fast, natural speech, you'll still feel lost in real conversations. So let's practice. Listen to how I feel so groggy sounds when spoken slowly. I feel so groggy. Now listen to how a native speaker actually says it in real life. Faster and connected. I feel so groggy comes out almost like I feel so groggy, where feel so blends together with barely a pause. Try saying it slowly first. I feel so groggy. Now try it fast, connected. I feel so groggy. Here's another one. What are you doing today? When spoken slowly, you hear every word clearly. What are you doing today? But in fast, natural speech, it becomes something closer to what are you doing today? The words, what are you, blend into wadaya, and doing loses its G sound, becoming doin. Try the slow version first. What are you doing today? Now, the fast, natural version. What are you doing today? This is called connected speech, and it happens constantly in real English. Native speakers aren't trying to confuse you. They're just speaking efficiently. And once your ear catches onto the pattern, you'll understand spoken English so much faster. All right, let's move from mornings into something we all deal with constantly: work and productivity. This is one of the richest areas for advanced vocabulary because work situations require precision. You need to describe stress, focus, effort, and results clearly, and simple words like busy or hardworking just don't cut it at an advanced level. Let's start with a word almost everyone needs at some point: overwhelmed. Overwhelmed means you have so much to deal with, so many tasks, emotions, or responsibilities that you feel like you can't handle it all. It's stronger than stressed, because stressed can be mild, but overwhelmed suggests you're almost drowning under the pressure. I'm feeling really overwhelmed with this project. There's just too much to do. Now, imagine this scene. Picture a small, busy office, papers everywhere, a laptop open with 15 browser tabs, and a woman named Priya rubbing her temples at her desk. Her colleague James walks over. James: "Hey, you okay? You look stressed." Priya: "Honestly, I'm completely overwhelmed. I have 3 deadlines this week and I haven't even started 2 of them." James: "Okay, let's talk about it. What if we streamline your workload? Cut out anything that isn't essential right now." Priya: "That would help so much. I think I've just been trying to do everything perfectly instead of just getting it done." James: "That's usually the problem. Let's prioritize the 2 deadlines that actually matter most and worry about the rest later." Priya: "Okay, yeah, that actually makes me feel a little better already." James: "Good. And meticulous is great, but not when it's slowing you down this much." Priya: "You're right. I need to let go a little." Notice we just heard 3 new words inside that conversation: streamline, prioritize, and meticulous. Let's break them down. Streamline means to make a process simpler and more efficient by removing unnecessary steps. We need to streamline this workflow. It's way too complicated. Prioritize means to decide which tasks are the most important and deal with those first. You need to prioritize your work, not try to do everything at once. And meticulous means paying extremely close attention to detail, being very careful and thorough. It can be a good thing. She's incredibly meticulous with her research. But as we just heard, it can also become a problem if it makes you too slow. Now try these words out loud with me. Streamline, prioritize, meticulous. One more time, all together in a sentence. I need to prioritize my tasks and streamline my process, but not be so meticulous that I never finish. Let's add 2 more essential work words. First, procrastinate. This means to delay doing something you should be doing, usually because you don't want to do it. I keep procrastinating on writing this report. It's such a common feeling, and now you have the exact word for it. The opposite quality would be diligent. Someone who works hard, carefully, and consistently without giving up or getting distracted. She's one of the most diligent employees on the team. She never misses a deadline. And finally, a word that's become incredibly common in modern conversations about work. Burnout. Burnout is the state of complete physical and emotional exhaustion caused by long-term stress, usually from work. It's more than just being tired. It's a deep, lasting exhaustion that affects your whole life. I think I'm heading toward burnout. I need to take some time off. And when things get too much, sometimes the solution is to delegate, to give some of your tasks or responsibilities to someone else. You can't do everything yourself. You need to learn to delegate. Now let's practice a longer piece of shadowing. Shadowing is a technique where you listen to a sentence and repeat it back immediately. Almost like an echo, matching not just the words but the rhythm and the flow of my voice. It's different from just repeating after a pause. With shadowing, you're speaking almost at the same time as me, training your mouth and your ear together. Let's try it. I'll say a sentence, and I want you to jump in and say it with me right away, like an echo. I've been feeling overwhelmed at work, so I'm trying to prioritize better and avoid burnout. Try it again, a little faster this time, really matching the rhythm. I've been feeling overwhelmed at work, so I'm trying to prioritize better and avoid burnout. Excellent. That's real shadowing practice. And the more you do this with new vocabulary, the faster it becomes automatic in your own speech. Let's pause here for just a moment. Take a breath. Notice how much you've already absorbed. Feelings words, work words, real conversations, real pronunciation patterns. This is exactly how fluency grows, not through memorizing lists, but through hearing words alive inside real moments, again and again. You're doing wonderfully. Let's keep going. Now let's move into a topic that touches every part of life. Emotions. Precise emotional vocabulary is one of the biggest gaps between intermediate and advanced English speakers. Most learners only have happy, sad, angry, and nervous. But real emotional life is so much more detailed than that, and today you're going to get the vocabulary to describe it properly. Let's start with a beautiful word, Elated. Elated means extremely happy and excited, usually because of some specific good news or event. It's much stronger than just happy. She was elated when she found out she got the job. Now the opposite, or at least a very different feeling. Apprehensive. Apprehensive means feeling worried or nervous about something that might happen, usually something in the near future. I'm a little apprehensive about the interview tomorrow. It's more specific than nervous, because apprehensive really points to a worry about the future, a kind of anxious anticipation. Let's hear these in a scene. Picture a woman named Elena, sitting in her car outside a building, checking her phone, nervously before an important meeting. Her friend calls her. Friend, hey, how are you feeling? Ready for the big meeting? Elena, honestly, I'm pretty apprehensive. What if they don't like the proposal? Friend, you've prepared so much, though. You're going to do great. Elena, I hope so. If this goes well, I'll be completely elated, friend. And if it doesn't go perfectly, that's okay, too. You'll learn from it either way, Elena. True. Okay, I think I just needed to hear that. Thank you, friend. Anytime. Go get 'em. Now your turn. Say it with me. Apprehensive. Elated. One more time. Apprehensive. Elated. Let's continue building this emotional vocabulary. Sometimes things don't go the way we hoped, and the feeling that follows is disheartened. Feeling a loss of hope, confidence, or enthusiasm, usually after a disappointment. I was really disheartened when I didn't get the promotion. Devastated, but stronger than just sad. It captures that specific feeling of your motivation dropping after bad news. But here's a word for what often comes next. If you handle that disappointment well. Resilient. Resilient means being able to recover quickly from difficulties, to bounce back from hard situations without breaking down. She's incredibly resilient. No matter what happens, she always finds a way to keep going. This is such a powerful word to describe someone's character, and it's used constantly in professional and personal conversations. Let's also learn restless, a feeling of being unable to relax or stay still, often because you're anxious, bored, or eager for something to happen. I've been feeling really restless lately. I think I need a change in my routine. And it's opposite, in a way. Content. Content means feeling calmly happy and satisfied with what you have, without wanting anything more right now. After the move, we finally feel content with our new life here. Notice how content is quieter and calmer than elated. Elated is a big burst of joy. Content is a peaceful, steady satisfaction. One more emotional word before we move on. Unsettled. This describes a feeling of unease or slight anxiety, like something isn't quite right, even if you can't name exactly why. That conversation left me feeling really unsettled. It's a subtle word, perfect for describing that uncomfortable feeling that lingers after something strange or uncertain happens. Now let's do a quick fluency check with a role play. I'm going to read the line of a friend asking you how you feel about a big change in your life. Maybe moving to a new city or starting a new job. I'll say my line, and then I want you to pause the video and answer out loud, using at least one of our new emotion words before I give you a sample answer. Ready? Here we go. Friend. So, be honest. How are you really feeling about all these changes? Now pause and answer out loud in your own words. Use apprehensive, elated, resilient, restless, content, or unsettled, whatever fits how you'd actually feel. Take your time. Okay, here's a sample answer in case you want to compare. Honestly, I'm a little apprehensive about all the changes, but I also feel surprisingly content because I know I'm resilient enough to handle whatever comes next. Notice how naturally these words fit together in one flowing sentence. That's exactly the kind of fluency you're building. Let's take a short pause here, just a moment to let everything settle. Close your eyes for a few seconds if you'd like. Breathe in slowly. Breathe out. You don't need to do anything right now except let your brain quietly absorb everything you've heard so far. There's no pressure, no rush. Just relax for a moment before we continue into the next part of the lesson. Okay, let's open our eyes and move into a topic everyone loves talking about: food. And with food comes taste, and with taste comes some really beautiful, precise vocabulary that instantly makes you sound more fluent and more expressive. Let's start with delectable. This means extremely delicious in a way that's almost elegant to say. It's a step above delicious. It has a slightly more sophisticated, almost poetic feeling. This chocolate cake is absolutely delectable. Now the opposite, bland. Bland describes food that has very little flavor, taste that's weak or boring. This soup is a bit bland. It needs more seasoning. Picture this scene. Two friends at a small family-owned restaurant looking over their plates. Anna. Oh my gosh! Try this. It's incredible. Ben. Wow, yeah, that's really delectable. What did you get? Anna. The mushroom risotto. What about yours? Ben. Honestly, it's a little bland. I think it needs salt or something. Anna. Want to trade a bite? Ben, please save me from this blandness. Let's add two more words. Savor and indulge. To savor something means to enjoy it slowly and fully, really paying attention to the taste and the experience instead of rushing through it. Take your time, savor every bite. To indulge means to allow yourself to enjoy something pleasurable, especially something you don't usually let yourself have, like a rich dessert or a lazy day off. It's a special occasion, so let's indulge a little. These two words often go together beautifully. Let's indulge in something delectable tonight and really savor it. And finally, let's learn appetizing. Describing food that looks or smells so good that it makes you want to eat it immediately. That smell coming from the kitchen is so appetizing. And wholesome, describing food or even a lifestyle that is healthy and natural, good for you in a simple, honest way. I've been trying to eat more wholesome meals lately, less processed food. Now here's a quick pronunciation and connected speech moment. Listen to how want to often becomes wanna in fast, casual speech. Slowly. Do you want to try this? Fast and natural. Do you want to try this? Try the slow version first. Do you want to try this? Now the connected, fast version. Da wanna try this? This kind of blending happens constantly with want to, going to, and have to. They become wanna, gonna, and hafta in everyday spoken English. Recognizing these patterns will massively improve your listening comprehension. Let's move to our next major topic: the city, travel, and getting around, which gives us some wonderfully visual, useful vocabulary. The first word, bustling. This describes a place that's full of energy, activity, and people, usually in a lively, exciting way. The market was absolutely bustling on Saturday morning. It's a much more vivid word than just busy. It paints a picture of movement, noise, and life. Now imagine this scene and really visualize it with me. You step out of a train station into a wide city street. The sidewalks are packed with people walking quickly in every direction. Food vendors are calling out. Taxis are honking, and there's a constant hum of conversation and movement all around you. This is the kind of bustling energy we're talking about. In a scene like that, it's very easy to feel disoriented, confused about where you are or which direction to go, especially in an unfamiliar place. I got off at the wrong stop and felt completely disoriented for a few minutes. When that happens, you need to navigate, to find your way through a place, especially somewhere complicated or unfamiliar. It took me a while to learn to navigate the subway system here. Let's hear a short conversation between two travelers, Jake and Lily, who just arrived in a new city. Jake: okay, where even are we? I'm so disoriented right now. Lily: same. This city is so bustling. It's kind of overwhelming. Jake: let's find a landmark, something we recognize. And go from there, Lily. Good idea. I see a big clock tower over there. Let's navigate toward that. Jake: perfect. Lead the way. 2 more words from that exchange. Landmark, meaning a well-known building or feature that helps you recognize a location. Let's meet by that landmark. The big fountain in the square. And congested, meaning extremely crowded or blocked, usually describing traffic or streets full of people or cars. The roads downtown get really congested during rush hour. Now let's do another connected speech moment. Listen to the sentence stress in this question. Where are you going? Notice how are and go get the strongest emphasis while the smaller words almost disappear. Try saying it with that same stress pattern. Where are you going? Now here's a rising and falling intonation rule. Questions that can be answered with yes or no usually rise in pitch. At the end, like, are you calming? Going up, But questions starting with a question word like what, where, or why usually fall at the end, like where are you going down. Try both. Are you coming? Rising. Where are you going? Falling. This small detail makes a huge difference in how natural you sound. We've covered a lot of ground already. Feelings, work, emotions, food, and the city. You now have more than 30 new words and expressions, and we're only about halfway through. Nice work staying with me this far. That kind of focus is exactly what builds real fluency. Let's keep the momentum going and move into our next topic: decisions and choices. Let's talk about decisions, because every day, in every conversation, we're weighing options, hesitating, and eventually choosing. And the vocabulary around this topic makes you sound thoughtful, mature, and articulate in English. The first word, contemplate. This means to think deeply and seriously about something, usually before making a decision. It's stronger and more reflective than just think about. I've been contemplating whether to change careers. Notice how much more weight that carries compared to simply saying, I'm thinking about it. Now let's picture a scene. Imagine sitting alone at your kitchen table late at night, a cup of tea slowly going cold in front of you, a job offer letter open on your laptop screen, and your mind quietly turning the decision over and over. This is exactly the kind of moment where you'd use the word contemplate. Let's hear a conversation between two sisters, Rachel and Nora, talking on the phone about a big decision. Rachel: so, did you decide about the job offer yet? Nora: not yet. I've been contemplating it all week, honestly. Rachel: what's holding you back? Nora: I don't know. Part of me wants to just commit and take the risk, but another part of me is really hesitant. Rachel: what are you weighing up exactly? The salary, the location, or something else? Nora: mostly the location. It would mean moving away from everyone I know. Rachel: that's a big deal. Don't feel like you have to decide today. But eventually, you'll need to commit one way or another. Nora: you're right. I think I just need a few more days to really deliberate. Rachel: take the time you need. This isn't a decision to rush. Let's break down the new words from that conversation. To commit means to fully decide to do something and stick with that decision without going back. Once I commit to a plan, I follow through. Hesitant means feeling unsure or reluctant, not quite ready to act because of doubt or nervousness. I'm a little hesitant to sign the contract without reading it twice. To weigh up something means to carefully compare the advantages and disadvantages before deciding. Let's weigh up the pros and cons before we choose. And deliberate, when used as a verb, means to think about something carefully and seriously, usually taking your time with Lawsome, often discussing it with others. The committee will deliberate for another week before announcing their decision. Now say these with me. Contemplate, commit, commit, hesitant, weigh up, deliberate. Great. Let's use them together. I need to weigh up my options and deliberate a little longer before I commit. Here's a role play moment for you. Imagine your friend is trying to decide whether to move to a new city for a job. I'll read their line, and I want you to pause and respond, giving them advice using at least 2 of our new words. Contemplate, commit, hesitant, weigh up, or deliberate. Friend, I really don't know what to do. Should I take the job or stay here where everything is comfortable? Pause now and give your advice out loud. Here's a sample response. I think you should weigh up what really matters to you. Comfort or growth. And give yourself time to contemplate it properly before you commit to anything. Let's add one more word to this set. Spontaneous. This describes doing something suddenly, without much planning, following an impulse rather than a careful decision. It's almost the opposite energy of everything we just learned. We didn't plan the trip at all. It was completely spontaneous. Sometimes life calls for careful deliberation, and sometimes it calls for spontaneous action. Now you have the vocabulary for both. All right, let's move into another rich area of daily conversation. Relationships and social connection. This is where advanced vocabulary really helps you build deeper, more meaningful conversations with people. Let's begin with candid. Candid means being honest and direct, saying exactly what you think without hiding anything, even if it's a little uncomfortable. Can I be candid with you for a second? I don't think this plan is going to work. It's a wonderful word because it signals emotional maturity. You're not being rude. You're being openly honest. Now imagine this scene. 2 old friends, Marcus and Ben, sitting outside a cafe on a quiet afternoon, catching up after months apart. There's a comfortable pause in the conversation, the kind where 2 close friends don't feel the need to fill every second with words. Marcus, can I be candid with you about something? Ben, of course, always. Marcus, I've felt kind of distant from you lately, like we haven't really connected in a while. Ben, honestly, I've felt that too. I think I've just been really absorbed in work. Marcus, I get that. I just wanted to be honest instead of pretending everything's the same. Ben, I really appreciate that. Let's make more of an effort to reconnect, okay? Maybe a weekly call or something. Marcus, I'd really like that, Ben. Me too. I think we just need to build that rapport back up little by little. Marcus, yeah, it'll come back naturally, I think, if we just make the time. From that conversation, let's pull out reconnect. To come back into contact or a close relationship with someone after a period of distance. We finally reconnected after 10 years apart. And rapport, a close, friendly, understanding relationship between people, especially the comfortable feeling of connection. They built a strong rapport almost immediately. Rapport is such a useful word for describing that natural ease you feel with certain people. Let's add 2 more relationship words. Empathetic and forthcoming. Empathetic means being able to understand and share the feelings of another person, to really feel with them, not just for them. She's such an empathetic listener. She always knows exactly what to say. Forthcoming, in this context, means willing to give information freely, open, and communicative, rather than closed off. He wasn't very forthcoming about what happened at work today. And one more. Mutual, meaning shared equally by two or more people, felt or done by both sides. It was a mutual decision. We both agreed it was the right choice. Now, let's do a shadowing round with a longer sentence, blending several new words together. I'll say it, and I want you to echo it with me immediately. Matching the rhythm. I want to be candid with you. I think we need to work on our rapport and be more forthcoming with each other. Let's do it again. A little faster this time. I want to be candid with you. I think we need to work on our rapport and be more forthcoming with each other. Wonderful. Feel how those words are starting to flow together, naturally now, almost like they belong in your own voice. Let's move gently into our next topic, memories and reflection. This is beautiful vocabulary. A little softer, a little more emotional, perfect for those deeper, slower conversations we sometimes have with the people closest to us. The first word, nostalgic. This describes a sentimental longing or affection for the past, usually for a happy time that you remember fondly. This song makes me feel so nostalgic. It reminds me of high school. It's such a warm human feeling. And this word captures it perfectly. Now close your eyes for a moment if you can. And picture an old photograph. Maybe a summer afternoon from years ago. Friends laughing around a table. Sunlight coming through a window, a song playing quietly in the background. That warm, aching feeling you get imagining that scene, that's nostalgia. Let's hear this in a longer conversation between a grandmother, Helen, and her granddaughter, Zoe, looking through an old photo album together. Zoe, Grandma, who is this in the photo? You look so young here, Helen. Oh, that's me and your grandfather, right after we got married. This picture always makes me feel so nostalgic. Zoe, what were you thinking about right when this photo was taken? Helen, honestly, I don't remember the exact moment. But I remember that whole summer being incredibly poignant for me. It was right before we moved away from my childhood home. Zoe, that sounds bittersweet. Helen, it really was. Happy because we were starting our life together, but sad because I was leaving everything familiar behind. Zoe, do you ever reminisce about that time? Helen, all the time, especially now, looking through these old photos with you. It brings back so much. Zoe, I love hearing these stories. I think they were really formative for who you became. Helen, they were. Those early years shape you more than you realize at the time. Let's break down these beautiful words. Poignant describes something that evokes a strong feeling of sadness or emotional depth, often a mix of sweetness and sorrow. It was a poignant moment watching my daughter leave for college. Bittersweet describes something that's both pleasant and painful at the same time, happy and sad together. Graduation was bittersweet, exciting, but also a little sad to say goodbye. To reminisce means to think or talk fondly about past events or experiences. We spent the whole evening reminiscing about our college days, and formative describes an experience or time that had a strong influence on shaping who you became, especially in your early life. Those years abroad were incredibly formative for me. Now say these with me: nostalgic, poignant, bittersweet, reminisce, formative. Let's put a few together. Looking through old photos always makes me feel nostalgic. It's bittersweet, but I love reminiscing about those formative years. Here's a self-practice moment, and this is really important. So pause and actually try it. Think of one memory from your own life. Anything. A trip, a friendship, a moment from childhood. Now, out loud, describe it using at least 2 of these words: nostalgic, poignant, bittersweet, reminisce, or formative. Take your time. There's no rush. Great work. Notice how using these specific words instead of just saying, "I remember this," it makes me feel some emotions. Instantly makes your English sound layered, expressive, and much more like a native speaker's natural way of reflecting on the past. Let's take a short pause again. Here, just a brief moment to breathe, and let all of this settle quietly in your mind. No pressure, no need to think about anything specific. Just relax your shoulders, breathe slowly, and enjoy this short pause before we move into our final major vocabulary section. Okay, let's continue. Our last vocabulary cluster today is about opinions and discussion. How to express what you think clearly, respectfully, and persuasively, which is one of the most valuable advanced English skills you can build. Let's start with articulate. As an adjective, articulate describes someone who expresses their thoughts clearly, fluently, and effectively. She's such an articulate speaker. Every point she makes is so clear. As a verb, to articulate means to express an idea or feeling clearly in words. I'm struggling to articulate exactly why this bothers me. This word is incredibly useful. It directly describes the goal we're working toward together in this entire lesson. Now let's picture a scene. A small meeting room. A few people sitting around a table, discussing an idea. Laptops open. Coffee cups half empty. One person, David, is trying to explain his opinion. David, look, I think we're missing something important here. It's a nuanced issue, and I don't think a simple yes or no answer really works. Priya, can you articulate what specifically concerns you? David, sure. My worry is that if we move too fast, we won't fully understand the risks involved. Priya, that's fair, though I'd argue the risks are actually pretty manageable. David, I hear you, but I'm not fully convinced yet. It still feels a bit contentious to me. Priya, okay, I can concede that it's a fair concern. Can you substantiate that worry with any specific examples, though? David, actually, yes. Let me pull up the report from last quarter. Beautiful. That conversation gave us 4 more valuable words. Nuanced means having small, subtle differences or complexities that require careful consideration, not simple or black and white. It's a nuanced topic. There's no easy answer. Contentious describes something likely to cause disagreement or argument, a controversial issue. Immigration policy is a pretty contentious topic at dinner parties. To concede means to admit that something is true, especially reluctantly, after resisting or disagreeing at first. I have to concede. You make a good point. And to substantiate means to provide evidence or proof to support a claim or statement. Can you substantiate that argument with some data? Let's say these together: nuanced, contentious, concede, substantiate, and articulate from earlier. Let's put it all together in one flowing sentence. It's a nuanced and somewhat contentious issue, but I'll concede your point if you can substantiate it with real evidence. Now let's practice a listening skill that's incredibly important, especially in fast-paced discussions like the one we just heard. Catching the main idea. Even when you miss a word or two. Here's the truth. Even native speakers don't understand every single word in a fast conversation. What they do is catch the key words and follow the overall meaning, using small natural responses to stay engaged. Like, I see. That makes sense. Right. Or, fair enough. So if someone speaks quickly and you don't catch every word, don't panic and don't ask them to repeat everything. Just listen for the important words, usually the nouns and the strong verbs, and respond naturally to keep the conversation flowing. To keep the conversation flowing, let's practice. I'm going to say a sentence a little quickly, and instead of trying to catch every single word, just listen for the main idea. I mean, honestly, the whole proposal was kind of contentious, but eventually most people came around to it. Even if you didn't catch every word there, what's the main idea? Someone disagreed at first, but eventually agreed. A natural response would be simply, "Ah, I see. That makes sense." Try saying that response out loud. Now, I see. That makes sense. This single skill, catching the gist instead of every word, will completely change how confident you feel in real conversations. Now, here's your self-practice exercise using your senses. And I really want you to try this one because it's one of the most powerful ways to move vocabulary from something I learned into something I actually use. Look around wherever you are right now. Out loud, describe your environment using senses. What you see, what you hear, how you feel, and try to naturally include at least 3 or 4 of today's words. Here's an example to guide you. I'm sitting at my desk right now. The room feels a little bland, honestly. Nothing exciting about it. I can hear some bustling noise from the street outside. I feel a bit restless, like I want to go outside and take a walk. Actually, thinking about it, I feel kind of nostalgic for summer evenings when the windows were open and everything felt more alive. Now it's your turn. Pause the video. Look around you and describe your own environment out loud using your senses and at least 3 or 4 words from today's lesson. Don't worry about being perfect. The goal is simply to practice pulling these words out of your memory and using them naturally, the same way you'll need to do in a real conversation. Wonderful. This is exactly how vocabulary becomes reflex instead of memorized information. By forcing yourself to produce it spontaneously, connected to your real, immediate surroundings. All right, we've covered an incredible amount of ground together. Feelings, work, emotions, food, the city, decisions, relationships, memories, and opinions. Now it's time for the fluency round, where we're going to move quickly through everything you've learned today. One more time. Back to back. No long pauses, just pure momentum. This is where all those individual words start to feel like one connected system in your mind, instead of separate pieces. Ready? Let's go. Fast and energetic. Repeat each word right after I say it, quickly, like a rhythm. Groggy. Sluggish. Refreshed. Invigorated. Lethargic. Good. Keep going. Overwhelmed. Streamline. Prioritize. Meticulous. Procrastinate. Diligent. Burnout. Delegate. Excellent. Don't slow down. Elated. Apprehensive. Disheartened. Resilient. Restless. Content. Unsettled. Keep that energy up. Delectable. Bland. Savor. Indulge. Appetizing. Wholesome. Almost there. Stay with me. Bustling. Disoriented. Navigate. Landmark. Congested. Nice. Now the decision words. Contemplate. Commit. Hesitant. Weigh up. Deliberate. Spontaneous. And relationships. Candid. Reconnect. Rapport. Empathetic. Forthcoming. Mutual. Now memories. Nostalgic. Poignant. Bittersweet. Reminisce. Formative. And finally, opinions. Articulate. Nuanced. Contentious. Concede. Substantiate. Incredible work. That's over 60 advanced words and phrases, all connected to real situations from your actual daily life. Take a second and really notice something. When you first heard some at the beginning of the video, they probably felt unfamiliar, maybe even a little intimidating. But now, after hearing them inside real conversations, repeating them out loud, and using them in your own sentences, they already feel closer to you, more natural, more like something you could actually say tomorrow morning to a coworker, or tonight to a friend over dinner. That's the entire point of learning vocabulary in context instead of memorizing isolated word lists. A word that lives inside a real moment, a groggy morning, an overwhelmed afternoon, a bittersweet memory, a candid conversation with an old friend. That word has a home in your mind, and words with a home don't get forgotten the way random flashcard words do. They come back to you naturally, exactly when you need them, because your brain has already practiced using them the way you'll actually use them in real life. Now, before we wrap up, let's talk about how to actually keep this vocabulary alive after this video ends, because that's honestly the part most people skip, and it's the part that makes all the difference. Here's your specific challenge. And I want you to actually do this, not just nod along and forget it in 5 minutes. In the comments below this video, write one sentence, just one, using any word from today's lesson. Describe how you're feeling right now. Describe your day. Describe a memory. Anything at all, as long as it uses one of these new words naturally. It doesn't have to be perfect grammar. It just has to be real. Your own sentence, coming from your own head. That single act of production, actually creating a sentence, not just recognizing a word when you hear it, is what moves a word from passive memory into active vocabulary you can really use. And here's something else worth mentioning. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, before you even check your phone, try to notice how you feel using one of today's words. Are you groggy? Refreshed? Maybe even invigorated if you slept really well? Just that tiny moment of noticing and labeling your own experience in English. First thing in the morning is one of the fastest ways to build a habit of thinking in English instead of constantly translating from your own language. If today's lesson helped you, and if you felt that click, that moment where a word suddenly made sense inside a real conversation, then subscribe to Natural Word English, because we release lessons exactly like this one regularly, always built around real vocabulary, in real context from real life situations. Never just dry lists to memorize. And if you know someone else who's working on their English, someone learning alongside you, a friend, a classmate, a coworker, send them this video. Learning together and even practicing these conversations out loud with another person makes everything stick even faster. Before we finish completely, let's do one very last thing together. I want you to say one full sentence out loud using at least 3 words from today's lesson, describing your own life right now, honestly, in your own words. Take a moment. Really try it out loud right now before the video ends. You did wonderful work today. You didn't just listen to a list of advanced words. You lived inside real conversations. You practiced real pronunciation. You responded to real prompts. And you built real, usable vocabulary that's now a part of your English, ready to come out naturally the next time you need it. Keep noticing your English every single day. Keep speaking out loud even when no one's listening. And I promise, this is exactly how fluency is built. Not all at once, but step by step, word by word, conversation by conversation. I'm Claire. This has been Natural Word English, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Take care of yourself and keep speaking.